PTC's InService is a technical content delivery solution supporting the electronic delivery of all product-centric and configuration-specific service information. The way in which we navigate throughout InService revolves around a family, type, and model product hierarchy. By selecting on any one of these objects, a user can access pertinent service and parts information about a specific product. In this case here, we're looking at a simple information structure. This is a product-centric breakdown of our snowmobile product. An information structure contains a variety of service documentation, parts lists, and even illustrations, which we publish directly from Windchill Service Information Manager. In this first example, we're looking at an interactive parts list for part purchasing and part cataloging. If I go ahead and I select within the interactive 2D illustration, it's going to highlight the appropriate and correct components on the right-hand side of the screen in the actual parts list. Notice that for the toe, we have a variety of color options, and by selecting on one of those, it highlights all color options available. InService can also be connected through an integration to a back-end e-commerce environment to support the capability of showing quantity information, real-time part pricing, and part availability. InService also allows us to add components to a shopping cart. So if I wanted to pick the appropriate and accurate parts before ordering and sending that off for transactional purposes, I can absolutely interrogate, find those components within InService, and add them to my shopping cart for purchasing. Notice we also have the capability to dig down further into any one of the components and view not only 2D information, but also 3D geometry, where I can pan, zoom, rotate, and get a good idea of what the geometry actually looks like. InService also supports configuration and product-specific filtering capabilities. For example, I have a variety of different parts in this illustration that make up the toe. There's a variety of color options, and maybe I only want to purchase a certain color option. I can toggle the filter and show only the color option that is pertinent to me and represent the parts list accurately with those components. Here you can see I'm switching my view to a 3D illustration created with PTC's Creo Illustrate, and with my filter applied, it automatically removes all the other color variations of the toe. I can then add in a specific quantity, again for this color variation, and purchase the correct components. InService also supports navigation to child kit information and child parts list. So in this example here, we may have a top-level parts list that might contain other types of parts list information. I can navigate down to kit information, choose to purchase components out of that kit, or even purchase the entire kit itself. Again, we have interactive 2D as well as 3D illustrations. Navigating to the shopping cart allows me to add additional types of information to my shopping cart, remove information, download the shopping cart to a file for my local computer, as well as even email the information out to maybe a colleague or another individual. Through the integration to an existing e-commerce environment, we can then click the order button and submit that off for transactional purposes. Navigating back to our information structure, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple other types of objects within InService. Here we've pulled up an XML document. This is a dynamic document that was authored with Arbor Text Editor, and illustrations were created using Creo Illustrate. The information has been published out to InService, and as the data is loaded into InService, it is fully indexed and searchable. So as a user types in a specific keyword, they can search the entire system for a keyword, an entire product line for a keyword, or even just a single document for a keyword and where that might appear. Navigating to another area within InService, let's go ahead and take a look at a few more examples. In this case here, we're looking at a technical illustration. Illustrations can also be delivered through InService and viewed standalone, or they can be viewed inside of an XML document. In this case here, we have illustrations that were created using Creo Illustrate and published out to 2D and 3D formats. The user can toggle in between these different types of illustrations and get a good idea of the illustration work, call out information, and other part information. Also within these illustrations, there is the capability to play animations. If animations were included from Creo Illustrate, a user can simply hit the play button and play those animations and physically see assembly and disassembly processes. The last example that we're going to look at in InService is legacy documentation. InService also has the ability to take legacy PDFs that might be authored within third-party applications and deliver those in a product-centric or configuration-specific way within InService. A user can navigate to these legacy documents. Again, as they are loaded into the system, they are fully indexed and searchable to make information very easy to find throughout the InService environment.